All right, we are live. We are live. Thought of doing. I haven't done a live stream in a long time, so yeah. I'll wait for people to come in, if any. Nobody yet. Oh, what's up, man? What's up, Untouchable Raider? Haven't done a stream in a long time, so I thought of doing one. There hasn't been any news or anything I know of, so besides that, just thought we could do a stream, maybe a Q&A type thing. I don't know, whatever people want to talk about, because it's like I said, it's been a long time. Dude, I don't know how to let people on. I'm not using like any app. I'm just using the YouTube stream lab, so I can't. I don't think I can let people on. So, but yeah. I mean, I guess we could do some sort of like Q&A. I don't know. But yeah. I mean, the only interesting thing happening tonight is the Sharks are playing and the Oakland Roots are playing in their playoff game. But I I don't even think they televise it, so maybe they do. Probably not gonna watch it. But yeah, what's up, Makar? How's it going, man? I haven't streamed in a long time, like I've said in previous moments in this, so I thought I would stream. Boxing night, nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think the Sharks are playing the Avalanche tonight, so that should be a pretty good game. So that'll be fun. But yeah, we could do some sort of Q&A. I mean, I think the last time I did a stream, or one of the last times I did a stream, it was the A's stadium discussion. And there's been like nothing about it. It's been almost like surprising how little news has come out about it. But the Howard Terminal, I think it's going in the right direction. I don't hear any news about it much because there hasn't been. I don't watch boxing at all. It seems kind of cool though. But yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of the last time I did a stream about that. It wasn't looking super good, and now like it's looking a lot better with the stadium because yeah, I mean it's just been on the upward trend. Um, yeah, I've heard about um, the Phillies being interested in Starling Marte, which like really disappoints me because I just think the A's are going to suck next year, and probably if they keep up these antics because it's just so depressing what they're doing right now. Like hearing rumors about Matt Olson getting traded, like no prospects are going to be able to replace Matt Olson. Like that is not Matt Olson is like the best first baseman in MLB. Like he's irreplaceable. That's the word. And the A's just their prospect obsession is terrible. I don't get it. It's stupid. They're just not a very winning franchise for a reason right now because they're doing dumb stuff, and that's what they're doing. And Marte is part of that group of guys that we need to keep, along with Olson and the core group that was really good last year. But if they're not going to keep him, then they're going to want to lose, which is what they want to do usually. It seems like so. Yeah, pretty bad. Um, do we? I mean, I don't really follow the farm system, but I mean, I'll take your word for it. I mean, I guess with all the prospects we have, um, I I believe it. I mean, the A's just trade their best players for prospects. So, what would I do ideally? That's a really good question because what can you do with a low payroll? Because if the payroll's getting lower and lower, it's not Billy Bean's fault necessarily, or any of the general managers' fault necessarily. If the payroll is decreased, because I mean that's the ownership. So what I would do is I would probably keep the best guys. Like I'd keep Olson, I'd keep Marte, I would, keep the core group of like 4 or 5 guys and then maybe try prospect game around guys that haven't been performing well. Like I used to be a huge Matt Chapman fan, and I still am a fan of Matt Chapman, but he hasn't been like even 50% of what he was in 2018 and 2019. He was so good back then, and now he's just, I don't want to say he's bad, but he's not he's not the Matt Chapman that we all loved to watch. He's not really fun to watch anymore. So yeah. Soderstrom, Muncy, Nick Allen. Yeah, those guys. I've heard of all those guys. I mean, I'm not the biggest AJ Puck fan. I'll be honest. I don't like him because I just think he was overrated at the gate. Like everyone's like, oh, he's Luzardo and Puck are just like the two best pitchers, and it's like, okay, Luzardo had some good moments. Puck was absolute trash last year, and yeah, it's better to tank than be at 500. Or I mean, honestly, yeah, that's true, but it's better to just spend money. That's what they should be doing. I don't think you should be tank or be at 500 with the amount of money the A's have. It's ridiculous that they spend so little. Yeah, Puck. I mean, Puck was all right. I think he went through too many injuries. That was the problem. He was injured like multiple seasons on end, and it was just, yeah, it wasn't good. But I think if the A's just like use their money, they would probably be a dynasty. I think trading Luzardo was good because Luzardo was terrible. Like you mentioned, Makar, and Marte was the best player in baseball, arguably for a while. And if they get rid of Marte, I won't forgive them. You know, it's just I won't forgive them at all if they get rid of Olsen either, because Olsen is just so good. Like home run derby participant, Gold Glover multiple times, a lot of accolades. Yeah, I think the 2020 team had a lot of potential. I just think the pitching screwed up at the end, and I also think having Chapman out for the season was bad, or out for the rest of the season when he got injured was bad, because that's when Chapman was better than he was now. So yeah, I think if we were fully healthy that year, but although Jake Lamb did pretty good, Tommy LaStella was a good acquisition, in that, and I mean, honestly, that 60-game season was just pretty depressing the whole time. Like fans couldn't go to games, which really sucked. I guess the A's probably benefited from it being a 60-game season, because the thing is, the reason why A's were first place in the AL West like a lot this year until we hit like the mid-season mark, and so my theory for why that happened was because the Moneyball approach only takes you so far. You can win 65 games maybe with a Moneyball team, and then like those next 100 games or so are just you're on your own. So yeah, no home field advantage. I mean, yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Yankees series sucked around like, what was that, Mother's Day, one of them. But I just think Moneyball is only going to take you this far, and winning a World Series is up here. I think teams like the Rays have done it. Well, I guess the Rays haven't won a World Series, but they've been to a World Series recently. They've been to 2 in their existence, and they did it with a budget payroll. And I don't think the A's. I mean, I just think the A's would benefit so much more if they could spend more money on the payroll. And the fact that they're decreasing it, it's terrible. And I agree the Rays had a good farm, but the reason why teams have good farm systems is not just because they trade for prospects. It's because getting a good farm system comes from having a good ownership, because if you think about it, like the A's didn't even pay their minor leaguers for a season, right? Like who is going to want to play for the A's farm system if they're not getting paid and getting treated like unemployed workers? It's yeah. I've kind of lost all hope in the A's, though. I don't think they're going to accomplish anything this year. To be honest, I mean their odds are like, I looked at the odds for World Series odds like very early, and I think they're just at the bottom, with yeah, most teams do underpay the minors, but the A's weren't even paying them. They were not paying them a single dime, and also the A's have like just pretty bad morale. I mean, the A's culture is actually really good. Like you wonder why Marte went from like average player to elite player. That wasn't a coincidence. It was like the A's have a good culture, like they take guys that normally wouldn't be good and they make them really good. Like there's a whole movie about it, Moneyball. Like Moneyball's all about the A's culture, the culture of winning, even though they have a small market. Yeah, they didn't treat their minor leaguers like professional players. Um, I don't know the legality behind it. I can't imagine it's legal. There was so much backlash about it that they ended up paying them, but they were paid nothing for a while, which was really bad for the farm system. Um, well, I mean, you can't really blame MLB because the thing is, the A's are a private entity, right? Like they can technically do whatever they want to do as long as it's within reason. Um, like they're not doing anything. I guess not paying them was illegal. I mean, I don't know that. Like I said, I don't know the legality of it, but the problem is like the MLB doesn't care. The only thing MLB cares about is the A's gets a new stadium. That's the only thing they care about. Because if the A's get a new stadium, then MLB looks a lot better than they do now. And like you can see with Rob Manfred has come out and said multiple times, we're not expanding until Oakland and Tampa have new stadiums. And so once that happens, that things will change. Maybe, I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, I said this. I made a video like a couple days ago. It did pretty well. It was called "I'm extremely frustrated in the A's," and right now, and it's I talked about how the A's are not gonna go to the World Series or heck even make the ALCS until John Fisher either spends a lot more money, and I'm talking hundreds of millions more on the payroll, or B, he just sells the team to someone who will. Because I'm telling you right now, it is embarrassing and laughable that they're spending 50 million. They're gonna, I guess, according to a couple articles I read, like next year to increase the payroll from 80 million to like 60 million. That is just ridiculous. You can't win a World Series with $60 million. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Like, I'm going to put a poll in real quick. I know there's only like 4 people in here. What do you guys think? Like, will the A's win or get to an ALCS or World Series with the current payroll? I mean, this isn't obvious to me, but I want to see what people think. What's up, JH Sports? Yeah, I mean, they could be like Miami. I know the Marlins are kind of a bad team just in general. I don't follow the Marlins much, but I just know they have, okay. One thing I do know about the Marlins, I know I'm going on a tangent. The Marlins are the least profitable team in MLB. They do not generate revenue. And guess who? They're 30, 29 is the A's, right? So here's the thing. I don't think the A's will end up like the Marlins, because the thing with the Marlins is they don't have popularity, right? No one, Marlins are just irrelevant. They don't have popularity because they're kind of, I mean, I don't think baseball in Florida is a failure, but I think baseball in Miami is kind of a failure. I don't think baseball in Oakland is a failure. I think the A's could be profitable. And the thing is, the Marlins just don't try. The A's try, but they try with a small payroll. The Marlins, I mean, besides like Jazz Chisholm, I can't really name many players on the Marlins because they don't try to sign guys or even like produce guys that are, caliber. I guess Jesus Luzardo, and Marte was on them. But besides that, I mean, really nothing going for the Marlins. But like I said, they're not profitable very much. Do I think the Warriors have a shot at the finals? Oh, 100%. I think the Warriors are the finals front runner right now. With the way they're playing, I think they're the team to beat. Yeah, I just think the Warriors are very good. We're a scary team right now. And when Klay Thompson comes back, we're going to be even better. Yeah, I think if the A's, I've said this many times, like if the A's won a World Series, the current state of the A's, like with this payroll and with this stadium, like the world would explode, right? Because it's impossible. It's literally impossible to win it for them, like based on statistics. Like no team with this payroll, if you don't include inflation, has ever won it with that type of payroll. Like I said, yeah, when we get Klay and Wiseman, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like when they get them back, I think more Klay than Wiseman because I think Wiseman's still developing. But I think when we get Klay back for sure, we're 11-1 right now. Yeah, I think we'll be a lot better. I think the Raiders can beat the Chiefs, but I also think the Chiefs could beat the Raiders. I think it could go either way, but I think the Raiders are having a better season than the Chiefs so far. Raiders have had a lot of drama off the field, obviously, so that's something that's hurt them. Should the A's re-sign Seth Brown? I honestly could care less. He's not very good in my opinion. But maybe he's probably cheap. He's probably on a less than $1 million contract, so probably. But yeah. The only games my Niners have won. Yeah, I know the Niners are kind of struggling. I don't know. I think they have an interesting dynamic. I don't know how long Kyle Shanahan will last there, but Seth Brown is going to break out next season. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I think he was all right last year. I mean, his batting average was pretty bad, but we'll see what happens. I think he might be good. I don't know. I don't think the A's are going to be very good next year. I think we might finish last in the division. Honestly, I think it very well could happen. I'm not going to get my hopes up though for anything. I'm also not going to I'm kind of in the middle. I don't want to get my hopes up about the A's next year, but I also don't want to go ahead and say oh, they're not going to win a single game. Yeah, they might win some games, but I think the A's might finish last, maybe second to last. But the thing is though, it's you as an A's fan, you really can't root for players to get good, but you also don't want them to play bad because if you think about it, if you root for players to be superstars, then they're going to get scouted by the Yankees. Look at Matt Olson, broke out this year. He's getting talked to by the Yankees, right? But then, you want players to do good, win for you. And so it's it's an endless cycle of it's torture, honestly. It's pure torture what the ownership is doing. So yeah, I'm just frustrated with it. I think honestly, um, if A's fans boycotted, which look, I think if A's fans just didn't go to any games, stuff might change. Seriously, I don't think it would be necessarily possible to do that. I'm a loyal fan, so I probably would have to go to games, just my out of the goodness of my fandom. But yeah, if the A's make the yeah, I would go to all the games. Trade some players, get prospect. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what they do. They've been doing that for 20 plus years now. Yeah, I know. We are loyal to. Look, the thing is, some people say you're disloyal if you'd boycott because you won't support the team because they suck. No, we're not disliking the team. We're disliking the ownership. I literally made a video about disliking an ownership against there's a common misconception about okay, if you dislike an ownership, you don't like the team. And that's not true at all. I hate the Raiders ownership, right? I hate the Raiders ownership passionately. They moved the team, they treated the fans poorly, but I sure as hell don't hate the Raiders. I love the Raiders, right? But I don't like the ownership. I don't love the Warriors ownership, but I love the Warriors. I hate the A's ownership, and I love the A's. So it's a big difference. And I think if you were to boycott the team and just not go to games, stuff might change. I don't know. I think it's a big risk, but it's also a big reward if it worked. Yeah, Trevor Rosenthal was kind of sad. I mean, probably right now Seth Brown is better because Stephen Piscotty kind of dropped off. I haven't heard much about him, but I'm a pretty big Piscotty fan. I mean, I have a jersey of him. He was really good for us in 2018. Would I prefer an A's World Series win or Warriors Finals win? Oh, A's World Series win 100% because I've already seen the Warriors win 3 finals. The A's, no one ever expects the A's to win it. So I would 100% take the A's World Series over a Warriors finals win. But I would be happy with either, of course. And I think the Warriors finals win this year is very likely. I think they're kind of the front runners for that, even though we're only 12 games through. I think it's going to be a challenge with the Brooklyn Nets the game after this one. So yeah, I would definitely, if the A's won the World Series, I would, my mind would be blown, and everyone else's would be. Like, that type of payroll to win a World Series it's literally never been done before, unless with inflation calculated into it, it's never been done. And so, yeah, we beat the Lakers on opening night. So, and some people go as far as to saying the Lakers are one of the best teams. But yeah, I mean, a lot of people were saying like the Warriors hadn't played a good team yet, and then we played the Bulls and we absolutely destroyed them. Last night was fun. Last night was really, really fun to watch, just absolute dominance of the Bulls. That was fun. Where do I think Olsen will land? I mean, honestly, anywhere. I think he could land anywhere at this point. Anywhere. I think the A's are probably willing to trade him anywhere. Yeah, they're rough in the second quarter, but in the third quarter they come back and they just absolutely tear things up. But yeah, back to the Olsen thing. I think I've heard about the Yankees. I've heard about other teams that are big market. What I would love for him to stay on the A's, but I think realistically the A's are probably going to trade him to a big market team like the Yankees or Dodgers, and they're going to get like 6 prospects and like some washed up pitcher that I like who's a washed up pitcher on the Yankees? I don't know. Like, or on the Dodgers. Like, they would get like some guy you haven't heard of in a long time, and then like 6 prospects. That would probably happen. When do I think Steph will break the 3-point record? Hopefully it's a home game. I have no idea. I think he's close, right? I mean, I think he's pretty close. Probably soon, probably sometime this season. Yeah, who's Jamison Talon? I've never heard of that guy, but I think Curry is just, we're never gonna see a 3-point shooter as good as Curry ever again, because he is just something else. And I know that's an obvious statement, but like, as someone who is like stuck with the Warriors through like thick and thin, like I was just in awe when I saw them win that first championship. Oh, he's less than 100 threes away. I didn't know that. Yeah, probably this season. I mean, he gets like what? He gets like 6 a game, 7 a game, sometimes 8. I mean, he could do it. Let's see. He's bad. Yeah, I've never heard of him. We tend to hate on the A's ownership, so we should appreciate how well the Warriors. Yeah, I agree. The only thing is, it's like I'm still a little bit salty they moved, like the Warriors. I'm talking about, but like, okay, here's the thing. There are people that like stopped liking the Warriors because they moved, and I'm like, come on, they moved 12 miles away, and their legacy is in Oakland. Like, they're not called the San Francisco Warriors. But I will say this. Oakland is at fault for most of the like sports teams leaving. Like, most of it is Oakland's fault. And if you don't believe me, go ahead and look at all of the failed plans that happened. There's been so many renderings of new Raiders and Warriors stadiums in Oakland that Oakland rejected. But yeah, besides the point, I digress. I completely agree. The A's ownership is terrible, but I think we definitely have to like look at the Warriors ownership and just be so happy that like they actually have a winning formula. And yeah, I think Curry's the MVP front runner for sure right now. And I think the Raiders, I don't know if they're going to win the AFC West, to be honest. I think we have a good chance. I think our division is very tight right now, but I think if we don't win it, we'll get second probably. I was only about 85. That's good. The A's do draft well, but then they trade guys. Yeah, Chase Center. Okay, as someone I've been to Oracle in my lifetime. I've been to 3 NBA arenas. I've been to Chase Center, Oracle Arena, and Golden One Center. And of the 3, Chase Center is the nicest. Like, Chase Center is spectacular. If you haven't been there before and you have a chance to go, I completely recommend it. But I will say this: Sacramento's arena is freaking awesome. Okay, Sacramento's arena is sick. I got to meet like the whole Warriors team there. It was sick. I had like some VIP stuff that I got to meet Curry, and if you don't know about that yet, go watch my vlog on it. That was what, a couple of weeks ago. It's my front video on my channel, featured video. That's what it's called. So yeah, I love Chase Center. I think Oracle Arena was nice, but I think Chase Center is a lot nicer. But I wish it was in Oakland. Oh, nice. You've been 3 times. Yeah, I've been like, I don't know how many, but I've been quite a few times, and I like it a lot. It's a nice stadium for sure. Their shop is awesome. Like, big part of the stadiums for me is the shop, because I'm a big merchandise guy, right? Of course. So Chase Center shop was great, and I got a sweatshirt there. It was cool. But yeah, I went there on opening night. Is Curry a top 10 player of all time? Oh, I think so. I think so for sure. I mean, problem with NBA is like it's sometimes hard to measure it, but I think in terms of skill, like apps like technique, Curry is absolutely the best 3-point shooter ever. That's without question. I mean, he's going to break the record. I think Ray Allen was considered that for a while. I think Reggie Miller was, but I think yeah, the Dub shop is huge. It was cool. I had like VIP passes. I got super lucky, and I got to meet the whole Warriors team. It was cool. Have you been to the new Raider Stadium? No, I haven't. I want to go this year, but I probably won't be able to because of scheduling conflicts. Curry or Magic? I'm taking Curry. I mean, if we're talking today's game, probably Curry. Top 5? I don't know. That's a good one. I think. Okay. I think this is not necessarily my opinion, but I think the general consensus usually goes Jordan, LeBron. Who's number 3? Like, I guess Magic. I mean, I don't know. After 1 and 2, it gets iffy. I think Kevin Durant is up there now, and for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Kevin Durant fan. I love what he did for the Warriors. Even though he's off them now, I still am a huge fan of him. Like, I'm rooting for if the Warriors are out, I'm rooting for the Nets. Yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar definitely is up there. But I'm a huge KD fan. I think KD is definitely. I think KD is top 5, to be honest. People hate on him all the time because he left the Thunder. I don't blame him for leaving the Thunder because he wasn't winning anything. They weren't really providing him with any extra talent. Yeah, he had Westbrook, but they weren't going to finals. He was very capable of going to the finals. I don't know about Kobe. Maybe Kobe. I don't know. It's like a hard equation because you have to look at the help they had. Because like Jordan had Pippen, right? But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's a hard list. The thing is, I don't know if it entirely matters, like who's top 5. I just think it like accolades are important, but I don't know if the rankings matter. You going to frame that signed Curry jersey? Yeah, it's actually right. It's right there. It's right here, and I'm gonna frame it pretty soon. I just got to figure out. I got to figure out where to get a frame, and then I got to figure out where to put it too, because I'm out of room on my walls everywhere. That's a good top 5. I've met Rodman, Magic, and Jordan Bell. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know who I've met over the years. I've met Jordan Bell. I did meet Jordan Bell when he was a rookie. I met Juan Toscano Anderson. I met Chris Mullin. I made a video about that. I'm actually wearing a Chris Mullin jersey right now. I met Chris Mullin. I met Patty Mills. I met Rudy Gay. I met Matthew Dellavedova. I met Steph Curry, Draymond, Iguodala, Kuminga, Chioza. Who else? Alex Len. I don't know. Updated Warriors season prediction. That's a good. I'm glad you asked that because I did make a season prediction. I don't exactly remember what my record prediction was. That's a really good question. I think realistically we can win 65 games. I think realistically. I think that might be our ceiling. I think our low would probably be 50. I met JB. I'm guessing you made Jordan Bell. after the game. The Warriors T-Wolves when he was on the T-Wolves. Oh, that's cool. He was walking around. That's sick. Yeah, that's awesome. Would you ever consider doing a podcast? I'm glad you brought that up. I have considered it. The thing is, I feel like what I'm doing right now kind of is a podcast in a way. I mean, I think people like visuals, so I don't know. Maybe I think that's cool. Hey, dude, support from Canada. Oh, thank you so much. Canada that's far, but appreciate it. The support from anywhere. Um, that's awesome. Yeah, I have no room. My walls are full, with everything. So I don't know where to put the Curry jersey, but it's hanging right now because I don't want it to get messed up. I actually reordered. This is the Oakland Curry jersey, like the City Edition one from last year. I reordered that one the same night I got it signed because I was like, I cannot wear that one anymore. I need a new Oakland jersey, so I reordered the exact same one. So I'll have one signed one and one unsigned one. But yeah, back to the podcast question though, because I feel like I didn't talk about that long enough. I feel like definitely down the road, if I can get like professional equipment and like, a studio maybe, 100%. I think that's something I would love to do. I think right now though, what I'm doing is kind of like a podcast because I think the idea of a podcast is just like, talking kind of on the spot. And yeah, I think that's a fair record, 61-22. Oh wow, support from Australia. Wow, we're international here right now. Canada, Australia. That's great. Yeah, I mean the A's in real life, like going to a game it's very fun, I think, to say the least. The Coliseum obviously is probably as bad as people say. I hate to say that because it's my home team stadium. But if you ever can go to a game someday in real life, then I definitely suggest it. Warriors for sure 50-55 win team, and that's probably an underestimate. Yeah, I think that's probably a little bit of an underestimate, but I think probably in the 50-65 range. I for sure. They're a very good team. I would say 60 plus wins. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if the Warriors are as good as they used to be in when they had 70 plus wins, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean the Nets might be good. We'll see, Donnell, how the Nets do. I mean the Warriors are playing the Nets pretty soon in 2 games, and that should be a good game. I think that might be a very close one for sure because the Nets are a good team, but they don't have Kyrie Irving right now. Obviously, I think the Nets are, definitely a good team, but I think they could be even better if they had Kyrie. But that obviously they don't. 81-1. I mean, it's still possible. It's definitely still possible. It's never been done. But yeah, I mean, the Warriors are they're tearing it up right now. Then maybe I'll go into that for a second. This is what I love about the Warriors right now. Their starting lineup is killing it, right? Everyone in the starting lineup is incredible. You got Wiggins, who's scoring a lot. You have Curry, who's Stephen Curry. You have Kevon Looney, who's a rebound machine. You got Jordan Poole, who's playing out of his mind. And then you have, who's the last guy? Draymond Green, who's playing out of his mind. So then, you talk about the bench, and you have Damian Lee, you have Gary Payton, you have Bielitsa. It's incredible. So that's why they're so good. It's just a combination of a good bench and a good starting lineup. I don't really have an opinion on Kyrie, to be completely honest with you. Yeah, he was a pretty good player before he wasn't playing. Oh yeah, I remember the A's Indians game when they won 18. Or yeah, they won by a lot. Yeah, I do. I cover the Roots and I cover the Earthquakes as well because why not, right? They're fun. Seth Brown signed your card. That's cool. Yeah, what A's players have I met? I've met Sean Mania. I haven't met as many A's players as I have basketball players. I met, let's see, Sean Mania. I met Ricky Henderson. I met Matt Chapman. I met JB Wendelkin. Who else? I don't know. That's a good question. I have like a list. I'll have to look at that. USA won yesterday in soccer. That's cool. That's cool. I heard about that. It was against Mexico, I think, right? Is your A's close on getting a new stadium or not? I wish I could answer that. I have no idea. I mean, I think they're pretty close with the plans, but no new stuff has come in the last, geez, it's been 2.5 weeks. So I don't know. I think that's a good question. But if you want to go do research on it, there's plenty of articles and stuff that talk about stuff. Nothing recent though. You think Oakland will get a WNBA team? Bay Area needs a team to grow that up. I mean, I think they're in the process of getting one. I don't follow the WNBA, but I think they're actually getting one. Like it's pretty much guaranteed at this point because of ownership affiliation that has recently emerged. How well do you think the A's could have done if Bassett didn't get hurt? That's a really good question. I think they would have been maybe wild card because Bassett was out for a long period of time, and it really hurt the team morale when he went out. Like you could tell it really affected the guys. Like that was a scary injury. That could have been like life threatening had it been really serious. And luckily, it was still serious, but you know, it wasn't as serious as some people thought. People keep saying play a real team. The Warriors fans. I mean, we played the Bulls. You know, I completely agree. Like we played the Bulls, we destroyed the Bulls, we beat the Lakers, we beat the Clippers. Like what other teams? I think the Nets will be a challenge for sure. Oh, the Sharks logos. I like the new logo better. Um, but I will say, okay, I like the new logo better because it's more detailed. But I will say the old one is more nostalgic because it's just kind of that early 2000s 90s look, and I like it a lot. I'm filming with my computer right now. Yeah, it did hurt our team's energy. It reminded me kind of like the Raiders after all the stuff happened, like with the Henry Ruggs injury or the Henry Ruggs incident, the Damon Arnett incident, then the Gruden incident. Like it just hurt the team. Um, how do you feel about the Sharks so far? I think they're pretty good. They've exceeded my expectations. I think their rookies are really good. Dolan is great. Weatherby has been great. So we'll see what happens. I think they're playing in about half an hour or so, maybe right. I don't know when they're playing actually. I think pretty soon. So we'll see. The Warriors literally just blew out the second best team in the league. I know, it's incredible, and hopefully we can beat the Nets. Yeah, that Blue Jays game where Simeon walked it off, I was like, that ruined my whole night. Like I was having a fun day that day. I was like hanging out with friends, and we were like watching the game and whatnot. Um, and then it happened, and I was just like, no, my day's ruined. My whole night is ruined. So yeah. Thoughts on Gruden suing the NFL? I don't know much about it. Probably won't win. Top 5 favorite non-Warriors players. Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. In no particular order. Okay. I guess number 1, Damian Lillard for sure. I love Damian Lillard. He's a great guy. He's from Oakland. He's an A's fan. He's a Raiders fan. So he's a cool dude. Um, Matthew Dellavedova was one of my favorites. I met the guy. He's a cool dude. Patty Mills, one of them. Who else? Who else is not on the Warriors that I like? De'Aaron Fox, Sacramento King. The Sacramento Kings are like my second favorite. Like I don't root. I'm not a fan of them, but I want them to do well. I feel bad for them. And then who would be the last one? I don't know. I think I only have 4. So there you go. Personally, I think Olsen is the best first baseman. The defense makes him the best. I agree with you. I don't think the league considers him the best because we're small market, but Yuli Gurriel getting the Gold Glove was kind of a slap in the face. But Ruggs is a good person. Don't get me wrong, but Forrest making it. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about Ruggs off the field before the incident, but yeah. I know you talked to your boy, Chiefs Rays Bulls. Yeah. How do you guys feel that in both your teams are the worst stadiums in MLB? We actually made a video about it. If you guys want to go check that out, actually, I'll plug it real quick. We did a hour and 20-minute long video right here. It would have been this one right here. It's scroll down a little bit. It was 10 days ago. So if you guys want to go check that out, I think I'll leave you to it on that one to answer your question. KD. I totally forgot KD because he isn't on the Warriors anymore. Which Adidas road jersey is your favorites in the NHL? Probably the Sharks, to be honest. I love the Sharks jerseys. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. But yeah, if you guys ever want to hear our takes on the stadium situation, we made an hour and 20-minute long video. Grab some popcorn, do something else while you're listening to it because it's very long, but it's very, very informational. We both are very knowledgeable on the Oakland and Tampa stadium situations. So yeah, if you want to go check that out, go do so. You should start watching hockey, JFR, especially if you live in Australia and you want to just follow a team. Follow the Sharks. I mean, they're an up and coming team. Do you play any fantasy football or basketball or baseball? I do fantasy football. I do basketball sometimes. I didn't do it this year, but I am doing fantasy football, and my team is pretty good. I think we're 6-3, so we'll see how I do the rest of the way. But yeah, I mean, if you were someone that's not a hockey fan, I like I guess this is kind of biased, but I would say just start watching the Sharks because they're not good enough to be like, to hop on the bandwagon, but they're also not, I wouldn't say the Sharks are a bad team right now. I just think we're kind of in the middle of the road. Did you hear there's a rumor about the NHL coming out with another reverse retro? Oh, I did not hear about that. Do you have a source? I would totally want to look into that. But that's cool. I mean, I think right now the Sharks only have 3 jerseys. They have the home, away, and the black one. And last year they had the home, away, the 30th anniversary throwback, and the reverse retro. So I think they need one more. But if you have some sort of source or like a link, I would totally look into that. Yeah, I think it'd be sick. But yeah, as I was saying though, like the Sharks are like not good enough to be like, bandwagon that you like them, but they're also not a bad team. I don't think the Sharks are a bad team by any means. Oh yeah, now I'm seeing that the reverse retro program might be getting a reboot next season. I think we'll see. Do you eventually want to work for a sports team? Yeah, honestly, if I had the opportunity, I would accept that job in an instant. It's totally something I would do. I'm glad you asked that. I haven't really thought about that too much, but I think that's something that would be really cool, and I think I have valuable insight that I hopefully could bring to it had I have that job. That would be really cool though. But yeah, the problem with hockey jerseys though is they're so expensive. That's like hockey jerseys can be double NFL jerseys, double baseball jerseys. Basketball jerseys are like traditionally cheaper if you like. The good thing with Fanatics is like I buy from Fanatics so much that I get so many of the 20% off coupons. So yeah, do a jersey collection video. Yeah, I've thought about doing it. I just think the issue is I would have to do like hypothetically like 5 different videos probably. Because I don't know if I've ever said how many I have. I have like about 100. So if I spent a minute talking about each one, that would be an hour and 40 minutes. And I wouldn't want to do an hour and 40 minutes video for multiple reasons. One, I don't think anyone wants to watch that. And B, it would be like 1,000 gigabytes. It would be huge. But yeah, I think NFL jerseys are the most boring designs. NBA and NHL are better. I actually agree with you on that because I think NFL jerseys are just a number, but I also kind of like the simplicity of that. I think NBA and NHL probably are pretty good. I also do like baseball a lot too, though. But if you get an NHL jersey blank, it's not that much. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I usually get mine with players because why do I get mine with players? I just I like to remember like who I was in, like what players I was into when I was watching the team. I don't I have a couple blank Sharks jerseys, but I have a couple with players. I have a lot of I think I have 3 Patrick Marleau jerseys because I'm a huge Patrick Marleau guy because of the stuff he did for them. I mean, he was just such a good. I mean, technically the Sharks could bring him back, but he's a free agent. I don't know if they're going to do that, but I'm just a big Patrick Marleau guy, and I was like, if I'm going to spend money on jerseys, I'm going to spend it on Patrick Marleau jerseys because he's a cool dude. He's a great player, and I love that for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think to answer your question, JH, I think I'll probably do a jersey collection video sometime down the road. It's just I got to get around to doing it personally. But yeah, I think Japan definitely has a lot of good baseball talent, and I think it's definitely there's a possibility of those guys getting a lot of praise in the future. What's up, Alex? What's going on? Yeah, we're coming up on 45 minutes. Not bad. We are having some good discussions in here about jerseys, about payrolls. Do you think you'll see the Sharks win the Stanley Cup in the next 10 years? Wow. I, I think any team could win in the next 10 years, to be quite frank. I think the Buffalo Sabres, of all teams, could win in the next 10 years because that's such a wide range. Sure, yeah. I think the Sharks could win it. I think they could even win it in the next 5 years, hypothetically. I mean, I know that's kind of a stretch, but I think hypothetically, like if Jonathan Dahlen becomes a superstar, if Eklund becomes a superstar, and if Weatherby can become maybe even a superstar, maybe. I just think their core is getting old and they need to develop a new core, which will be centered around the younger guys, like Dahlen. Um, no, Sacramento is not part of the Bay Area, actually. It's just outside of the Bay Area. It's like about an hour and a half away from San Francisco. Um, so it's not in the Bay Area, but some people like to think it is, but it isn't. Do you think Unbiased Curry is the best shooter of all time? 100%. Yeah, I think he is. I mean, here's the thing. He doesn't have the most three-pointers of all time yet, right? He'll probably break that this season, but I just think his technique is the best of all time. His skill level, his competition he had to play against. But yeah, I think so for sure. Your Sharks need to rebuild. They never won. Yeah, I mean they're kind of conserving their talent. I mean, I don't think they want to rebuild because I think they feel like they don't need to with the amount of money they're spending. I mean, Erik Karlsson's contract is ridiculously long. I think it's way too long. I think it's way too high in terms of money. But I think if they can make the playoffs this year, then don't rebuild. I don't think you need to rebuild if you make the playoffs. With that being said, though, they got to face some adversity. Facing a division that has decent teams in it, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, but I think the Sharks have had a good start. Last game was kind of disappointing, but we'll see what happens. I think they're playing the Avalanche right now. About it's okay. They're losing 2-1 right now to the Avalanche. Um, so it's early in the game though. It's only the first period, so they got time. The Avalanche are actually worse than us right now, but I think we played more games than them. Yeah, we played more games than them, but yeah, I think the Sharks have potential. Um, how do you feel about Klay Thompson coming back and how he will perform? First of all, I'm really happy he's coming back, and we have like a timeline for when he's coming back. In terms of how he'll perform, I have no idea. I don't think anyone really knows how he'll perform. Like he could be the Klay Thompson that we all, loved back in the 2010s, but he also could be not as good. And so I think when he comes back, I think the Warriors will be significantly better, but I don't know how good he'll be as an individual. Thing with the A's and their rebuilds is that they've done guaranteed playoff runs. Yeah, I think they should run this core for another year, and I think the problem is they can't run the core unless they keep the guys, right? So those guys got to stay. They got to give them decent money. I mean, I think Mark Canna is gone for sure. There's a list of free agents. I haven't looked at it in a couple days, but I think Mark Canna is done for sure with the A's. And I think some others are too. I just can't really put my finger on who yet until we get deeper into the offseason. Yeah. Certain teams that went to the retro looks like your favorite. Which one is your favorite? Oh, Sabres, Flames, Senators, or Coyotes? I like the Coyotes the most out of those four. Here's why. I went to Arizona. If you want to see my experience on that, it was, almost a year ago at this point. No, 9 months ago. I don't know. I went to Arizona. And I saw the Coyotes, and like seeing fans wear the Kachina, I was jealous of how sick that is. I know it's a controversial jersey because it was like so crazy when it came out. Yeah, 900 plus days since Klay played. Or yeah, I that's crazy. That's a crazy number. We should wait till the CBA if a salary floor gets implemented. Yeah, that's a good point. And I don't know how low that floor would be. I would definitely prefer a salary cap over a salary floor, but I think a salary floor is better than nothing. Because now any team can go free reign, whether they want to go low or they want to go high, like the A's or the Yankees on the opposite sides of that spectrum. But um, yeah, the CBA, I think there might be a holdout. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think the problem with baseball right now is baseball's kind of at its downfall right now, unfortunately. Like I think baseball is like not doing as good as it's been. It's low in popularity. And so yeah. Oh, it'd be $100 million floor. That's not bad. I mean, that's what like decent teams spend sometimes. That's not what the Yankees spend, but that's 20 million plus more than the A's spent this year. What is your opinion on Andrew Wiggins? Definitely a good player. He's a good player. He's not, our best player, but he had 35 the other night. I mean, that was really good. I think Andrew Wiggins is a great player, though. I think he's grown a lot. I think he was a guy that I didn't really like too much last year when the season started because I kind of thought he was just a 3-point shooter that really couldn't make threes. But now he's really good right now. I'm really liking his way of playing. He's a great player. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I just think with the CBA expiring or whatever, I don't know too much. I haven't read into it too much, but I think it's something that is probably reflectant of and whatever happens, I mean, is reflectant of the fact that baseball is kind of on its downfall. And I hate to say that because baseball's up there as my favorite sport, but it's like, it's just been on the downfall for a while because of, personal things with the teams and like alienation of fans. And it's not been, baseball has been like considered one of the worst leagues for a while, out of the four. Not the worst league in terms of excitement, um, but I mean, in terms of like, the flow of the game, if for lack of a better term, um, that's just the way it's been. Warriors Chinese New Year jerseys. Yeah, they're pretty cool. I like them. I never bought one because I was never like big on the Adidas jerseys for the Warriors because they were always like kind of hard to find. Like in terms like Nike's everywhere, right? Adidas was harder to find. Those are cool though. I personally, my favorite Warriors jersey of all time is the Oakland one that I have right here. I just ordered a new one because I got my Steph Curry one signed, and I can't wear a signed jersey. Obviously, that's like a big pet peeve. When if you do it, good for you. But if my pet peeve is like wearing signed jerseys out, is just something I could never do because I'm gonna spill on it. I'm gonna mess it up, and it's gonna degrade the value. I think the A's winning the World Series would be so much better than anything else simply because they're not at the games. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think baseball is just such a long, enduring sport on the teams, and like 162 games with that small payroll, especially, is definitely very tough. It's tough for the fans. It's tough for the players. It's tough for everyone. It's tough for the coaches, and I think also without Bob Melvin, it's going to be tough this year for sure. We'll see how they do though. I think the Warriors. I think the A's are gonna struggle this year. I think they're definitely gonna struggle. I think they're gonna be moments of success and struggle. Um, yeah. Do you like John Boy? Yeah, I watch him sometimes. He's cool. I think I'm gonna go till 6:50 Pacific. So if you guys have any other questions or comments in the next 4 minutes, let me know right now, and we'll be on our way because I got to get out of here pretty soon. But back to your point, JFR, though, I think, with the way the A's played in 2021, it really showed how much of a burden it was on them, like playing that amount of games with that tough payroll. And yeah, I just think it was bad. I actually do listen to Locked On A's on occasion. Um, I haven't listened to it probably since the season, but it's pretty cool. What's up with NFL fans fighting in stadiums? I just think people are stupid sometimes. I don't know. I think probably more subject to NFL because there's less games, so people are more riled up about it. But I don't know. I don't know too much about the fights. But yeah, it's been. I know it's an issue though, especially at SoFi Stadium in LA. There's been a lot of fights there in the past couple of games. Have you been to a game and you haven't? I've never been in a fight. I have been to a game, but I've never been in a fight. Um, and I'm not planning on getting in one. But I think fighting over sports is kind of dumb. Like physical fighting is pretty stupid about sports. Um, yeah, just 2 more minutes, guys. If you guys have any questions about sports or whatever, I think the next merchandise video should come out pretty soon. So if you're someone that watches that, then there you go. That'll be out there pretty soon. What's up, JH Sports? Again, what's up, man? Sharks are playing right now. They're losing 2-1 to the Avalanche. Period 1 is practically over. Yeah. You going to any game soon? Probably. If the Oakland Roots play in Oakland during the playoffs, like yeah, I'll go to it. But I don't know. I don't have anything planned. Probably gonna go back to Sacramento pretty soon. I do have a TV in my room. I'm probably gonna go to Chase Center pretty soon again to see the Warriors. But yeah, I think probably something soon. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up right here, guys. I think that was pretty fun. If you guys have any other questions, let me know in my comment section. But I'll be on my way. And yeah, peace out, guys.